Thinking of moving to Florida? What are the pros and cons of this great state? Stick around, we're going to talk about those today. I'm John C. here in sunny Southwest Florida, and if you haven't done so yet, do me a quick favor, hit that thumbs up button below, and then also subscribe to this channel to help us and the Google algorithms so that YouTube notifies people when we post these videos. Today we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons. The pros, I think I've got a list of about 6 pros about Florida, but listen, this is not an all-inclusive list. There are a lot of awesome things about this state, and then there are some negatives. There's some cons as well too, so I want you to be aware of what those are as well. And right now on my list I have 5 cons of living in Florida. Number 1 pro, this state does not have state income tax, which is pretty awesome because at the end of the month or week or whenever you get your paycheck, there is more money in your pocket. Business owners also like that as well too. We all love paying less taxes, don't we? Well, some of us do. I know I do. I like paying less taxes to the government. It's more money in my pocket to do with what I want. I feel like I spend money probably a little bit better than my government, even my state government and local government. So I like that it gets to stay in my pocket a little bit longer and be used hopefully wiser than what they would use it for. No state income tax, pretty awesome. Number 2 pro, the cost of living is less expensive here in Florida than the average across the entire United States. Not only are house prices on average a little bit lower here in the state of Florida than the United States average, but also cost of living is a little bit less as well. Now, there are some pockets here within the state of Florida, especially the big cities and even part of Naples where there's some high-end land. It is a little more expensive to live in those small pockets. But overall in the state of Florida, there are plenty of places to live where the cost of living is very reasonable and a little bit below the average in the United States. Number 3 pro, we have a lot of beaches and a lot of outdoor activities available through most of the year. Our beaches here in Florida are rated in the top beaches across the entire world. We have some beautiful beaches here in Florida. I did another video on that as well too. Feel free to click on the links below to see that video on our top beaches here in Florida. But we have some fantastic beaches here in Florida, and the outdoor activities, hiking, kayaking, boating, skiing, well, not skiing on snow, but skiing on the water, things like that. We have a lot of outdoor activities available to you throughout most of the year because the weather is so wonderful. Number 4 pro, it never snows here in Florida. Well, I say never. It does snow every once in a while, but it's very rare. And when it does, it's just a slight dusting. And I love that about this state. If I want to see snow, I'll go up into Georgia, Carolinas, somewhere up there to see snow. But here in Florida, it is a very rare thing when it snows. I'm in South Florida. I've been here now for 10 years and it hasn't even hit below 30 degrees here in South Florida. Now in North Florida, different story. When I lived in the North Florida for 5 years, our pipes actually freezed one year because it got down to 18 degrees. So the weather does fluctuate a little bit, whether you're in North Florida or South Florida. But even when I lived in North Florida, never saw it snow. Number 5 pro of living in Florida, state residents get a huge discount on a lot of local attractions. Now, I talk hyperlocal first and then statewide. Hyperlocal, I know of 2 places here in Lee and Collier County that give a fantastic discount. One is our Collier County Zoo. That Naples Zoo is fantastic because the first Saturday of every month, residents of the county get in for free. Just show your license and they will let you in free on that Saturday. Now it's very packed on that Saturday, but hey, it's free and lines may be a little bit longer, but it's a nice park, nice zoo, great place to visit. The second place for us here in Collier County, and that is the water park that we have. That's a fantastic place. You also get a discount there if you show your driver's license. For a state park, which everybody knows about here in Florida, in Orlando, the one with Mickey Mouse, that park actually is a Florida residence. Disney runs a lot of promotions there, believe it or not, for us here in the state of Florida. There's actually one running right now, which is interesting because I don't typically see it in the winter months. But Disney is running a discount for Florida residents. On average, for most people, if you're not a Florida resident, if you're over the age of 10, it is $109 without tax to get into the park for one day. Now, if you're a Florida resident, you can buy a 3-day pass for about $170, and you can buy a 4-day pass for just over $200. That's almost a 50% discount to get into the parks because you're a Florida resident. That's pretty awesome. Number 6, pro, and this is a great place for retired people to settle down. We have a lot of communities here in Florida, and they are fantastic because they offer a lot of amenities and they really pamper to people who are elderly or retired. And what does that look like? Well, typically you have a lot of golf courses, tennis, pickleball, and different amenities like that for someone to enjoy within a community, sometimes gated, sometimes not, but within a community where they don't have to travel far to hit those resources. A lot of our communities as well have restaurants, post office, gas station, and things like that. So the people don't have to travel around the town to go get to those resources. Pretty awesome. Now, I know there's a lot more pros, but let's jump into the cons for today. Number 1 con on this list, weather. Weather can be detrimental here in Florida to a lot of people because some people just don't want the heat. Do we get hot? Yes. Have I ever seen it go over 98 degrees here in Southwest Florida? No. In North Florida, I've seen it get up to 105 degrees, but here in Florida, we do have heat. Now, what comes with that heat is really what affects it, I believe, the most, and that is humidity. Our humidity is high throughout most of the year. Now, once we typically hit October, that heat index and that humidity drops quite a bit, but it does pick back up as we get into the summer months of June, July, and August. Number 2 con, which I actually think is a plus, and that is the state is flat. Our state is very flat as you drive across, and now I like that because sometimes I get sick when I'm driving through mountains, up and down and all around. Here in Florida, it is very flat. Now, there are some hills, I don't know if you call them hills, mountain, valleys, I don't know what you call them, but if you get north of the Orlando area and you get into Ocala, that area has some really beautiful rolling hills, a lot of horse farms and things like that in that area. So if you need a touch of that, that's where it is here in the state of Florida. Other than that, we are very flat. Number 3 con, and that is Florida has more tourist and partial residents than any other state in the United States. Now, some people see that as a big con. I don't necessarily see it as a con because I love it when tourists come here because you know what they end up doing? Moving here. I love it when people who are retired come down here to visit and rent for 2 or 3 months in our beautiful winter months because they end up turning into residents. So I love that. I don't actually think it's a con, but it was on this list, so I'll keep it. Number 4 con, and that is our insurance is higher here in the state of Florida than most other states. Now, I'm not an insurance person. If you are and you're watching this, post below if this is right or not. But from what I've seen, home insurance and auto insurance can tend to be a little bit more on the pricey side here in the state of Florida. But because the taxes, specifically even home taxes, property taxes are a little bit lower, it offsets for that home insurance cost. Now, I think where we really get hit for the most part, and that is on car insurance. Last con on the list, and that is bugs, snakes, and alligators. It seems like our bugs are huge here in Florida. It seems like they don't die unless you smack them or kill them, and they seem to live forever. It seems like our mosquitoes are about the size of crows or pigeons. They could basically pick you up if they came in a herd. They could lift you off the ground is what it seems like. They're so big here, if they're flying around your head, you can hear them. Their wings are massive, and they will suck your blood dry if you give them enough time. Now, the other animal that we have here in Florida, one of the animals that people are constantly scared of, and that is snakes. We do have a lot of snakes, but from what I've seen in my experience of living in Florida, which has been almost 30 years of my life, the snakes that we have are very good for actually the environment because we actually have a lot of black snakes and we have different snakes that actually eat a lot of the bugs, believe it or not. And so those are good snakes. They're non-venomous and they're very good to keep certain animals down and out of your yard like toads and things like that. Now, do we have water moccasins? Yes, because we have a lot of water here in Florida. Now, I've been back up in this part of Florida for 10 years, like I said, and I've only seen one water moccasin over the last 10 years, and I live on a lake. The other reptile that we have a lot of here in Florida are alligators. They are pretty much everywhere. If you come to Florida and you ride along with me anywhere in Southwest Florida, Lee or Collier County, I can basically spot an alligator within about 20 minutes. They're in lakes, they're in rivers. I've even seen videos of them in the Gulf of Mexico. So we have those as well too. There's your cons and there's your list of pros and cons of moving to Florida. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, again, hit that like and subscribe button below. And if you stick around for another few seconds, another great video about Florida is going to pop up either here or here. Have a great day.